Question 7. Mariam invests £7,300 for 6 years in a savings account. She gets 3.6% per annum compound interest. How much will Mariam have in her savings account at the end of 6 years? So that's her initial amount, and this is the percentage she'll be getting each year as a compound interest, and she'll invest for 6 years. So first of all, what's 3.6% increase as a decimal multiplier? Well, that would be 1.036. So if to multiply 7,300 by 1.036, and then because we're doing it for 6 years, we have to do it to the power of 6. So how would we write that down? Write it like this. So 7,300 is how much we started off with, and then we times it by 1.036, but that's a decimal multiplier, and that's to the power of 6. So don't forget, your initial amount is your 100%, and then if you're getting another 3.6%, if you add it together, that's 103.6%. And how do you turn that into a decimal? 103.6 divided by 100, and that would equal 1.036. So that's how we know it's a decimal multiplier. So now you have to put all of this into your calculator. So as you can see, I've already typed in 7,300, times that by 1.036, and we're going to do power. So the power button is here, this one here, to 6 years, because to the power of 6, because it was for 6 years. And as you can see, the answer is £9,025 and 71p. So we can write that down now. £9,025 and 71 pence. And don't forget the units at the beginning. So it's always important to make sure you write down the units. Question 8. David invested £3,500, so that's his initial investment, for N number of years. We don't know how many years. It could be 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. We don't know. In a savings account. He was paid 6.5% per annum compound interest. And at the end of the number of years, 6, 7, 8 years, however many it is, at the end of the N years, he had £5,438 and 95p in the savings account. We have to work out the value of N. We have to work out how many years this money was invested for. So we know how much we invested right at the beginning. That was £3,500. And we know the interest rate is 6.5%. So what's 6.5% increase as a decimal multiplier? Is 1.065. How do we know that? Because the initial amount is 100%. Then you got another 6.5%. So when you add the two together, that's 106.5%. And to convert a percentage into a decimal, we do 106.5 divided by 100, and we get 1.065. So that's the decimal multiplier. The only thing we don't know is to the power of what? To the power of n. So we're going to leave it as n. So let's tally this expression, all of this up. We can write all of that like this. So £3,500 is our initial investment. 1.6 times it by 1.065, well, that's our decimal multiplier, and we don't know for how many years, so therefore we just write n. So this is going to be a trial and improvement question. So I can see from 3,500 to get to 5,438, it's quite a big jump. So I'm going to go and guess 5. I'm going to guess that n is 5 to the power of 5. So I've got my calculator ready. I've already typed in 3,500 times 1.065, and now I want to use the power button, which is this one here, and I'm going to assume 5 years. So when I type in 5, I only got 4,000 795. Can you see this amount is still less than my target amount? So 5 years was too low, but we need to keep a record of that. So because we need to record this information and show this is our working out, okay, I want to show you something, an easy and quick way of showing your working out. So all of this multiplied together, so 3,500 times the 1.065 to the power of n has to equal to 5,438.95. So if we now divide both sides by this, so that we have 1.065 to the power of n is equal to 5,438 or 5,438 pounds and 95 divided by the 3,500. So 1.065 to the power of n has to equal to, and do this bit on your calculator. As you can see on the calculator, when I done this calculation, I got 1.553 and so forth. So I'm going to write this down. So I've now written that down. So what we're going to do now is we're going to guess numbers through trial and error to get our answer of this, the left hand side, to be equal to at least that or a bit more than that. So I'm going to try and do 1.065 to the power of 5 again to show you how that works. So I'm going to use this button here, to the power of 5, and the answer is 1.3. Now can you see we needed 1.55, but I've only got 1.37. It's too low, but let's record this. So now we're going to try 1.065 to the power of 6. So it's getting closer, but can you see our answer is 1.4591, which is still smaller than 1.55, but we need to record this to show this as part of our working out. So as you can see, I've shown it here, and you can see it still is less than my target amount. So now we're going to try to the power of 7. And as you can see, the answer is 1.5598, and we've actually done it. We've actually gone above our target amount. So now this number here is bigger than this number, so we know that it was invested for 7 years. So finally, after 7 years, this amount is actually larger than this amount. So the money was invested for 7 years. N is equal to 7. So the answer is 7. Question 9. Ali invested £6,500 for 3 years in a savings account. He was paid 6% per annum compound interest. How much did Ali have in his savings account after 3 years? So we know that 6% as a decimal multiplier is 1.06, because you started off with 100% and then you got another 6%, so altogether that's 106%. So to turn a percentage into a decimal, you do 106 divided by 100, which is 1.06. so that's the decimal multiplier. So what we have to do is we have to do 6,500 times 1.06 on our calculator, and that will give us our answer. So as you can see, the answer on the calculator is £6,890. So we should really put the units in. So £6,500 was initially invested, and the interest rate was 6%. That's why the decimal multiplier is 1.06. But we made a slight mistake. We didn't do it to the power of 3. So we have to do that bit again. So now that we know the decimal multiplier is 1.06, the initial amount invested was £6,500, and the decimal multiplier is 1.06. And how many years was it invested for? It was invested for 3 years. So if you do it to the power of 3, then you get your calculator out. So I've already typed in 6,500 times 1.06, and then it's to the power of 3. So at the end of the 3 years, you'll have £7,741 and 60p. So if we write that down, that's £7,741 and 60p. So the initial amount invested was £6,500. The decimal multiplier is 1.06 because it was a 6% increase, and the index here, or power here, is 3 because it's 3 years, and the total amount in the bank at the end of the 3 years is that much, £7,741 and 60p. So if they ask ever in the exam how much did this investment go up by, then you'll have to do £7,741 and 60p minus the initial amount, which is 6,500. And if you do that in your calculator, you'll get the answer of how much the investment went up by at the end of the 3 years.